why you need to have the conversation with the person that you like. Yes, I'm talking about the sex talk. Um, a lot of y'all, I don't think you guys. So I get a lot of DMs, a lot of DMs. I'm talking like hundreds of DMs a day, and the most common DMs I get are from men, and they're like, make content for men who have smaller dicks. Then it's like the second one I get is like my partner. Women come to me and they're like, my partner doesn't dominate me the way I want. I want my partner to be more aggressive. How do I have that conversation with him? And then the third biggest conversation or the biggest question that I get asked in my DMs are from women, and they're like, how do I bring up the things that I like with my partner? How do I talk about things that I want my partner, whatever the case may be? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I thought everybody was having those conversations with the person that they were seeing. I thought everybody was having the sex talk with the person that they're seeing. And it wasn't until I started, like, really doing content, I realized y'all are just like raw dogging y'all sex life. And not the good kind of raw dogging either. But like, and the reason why having the sex talk is so important is because you don't want to end up like my friend. Okay, so my friend, they were dating this woman for like a month or two, right? And a month or two into the relationship, they're like, I realized I always initiate sex. I realized literally you never initiate sex. What's up with that? And then she goes, I'm asexual. I'm old. I'm like, when I heard of asexual, when I hear asexual, I go all the way back to science class back in high school, middle school, like asexual reproduction, have somehow having kids with yourself, or like, or whatever the case may be. So I was like, what the fuck is that? And then they tell me, they're like, apparently it's when, like, because keep on view, this is the first time I've heard of this, and this was like a few months ago, by the way, or last year, 2 years ago, I can't remember, but it was like, they were like, oh yeah, she just doesn't care about sex or whatever. She's like, they're like, she'll do it for me. That hence why I always initiate it, but like other than that, she doesn't really care for it. And I'm like, how do you feel about that? And they're just like, honestly, I wish I would have known sooner. And then I had to look at them like they were a little crazy. And I'm like, have you two not, you two have been talking for like a month or two, and then you asked her to be your girlfriend, and you two haven't had the sex talk? How could you? And now look at you. So when it started happening in like real life and I started getting more comments, I'm like, okay, maybe this is something that people really aren't doing. And you know, the sex talk is super important. Whether you like sex or whether you don't like sex, it's still really important, because the fact of the matter is there are people out there that put sex on a really high pedestal. There are people out there where good sex is a, what do they call it? Good, if you're not good in the bedroom, it's a deal breaker, right? And then there are some people out there who don't care if the sex is good. And you might be thinking to yourself that there's no one out there like that. That doesn't make sense. There are people out there who, I got a homegirl. She's married with a family now, but like years and years and years ago, back in the day, she dated this guy for 9 years. She dated this guy from high school. I think she was like 17, 18, high school or college, all the way up to the point where she was like 27, 28. And he didn't make her finish once. She went 9 years dating this guy, and he never made her come once. It wasn't, she thought she was one of those girls that couldn't, she thought she was one of those girls that like couldn't finish at all. Like that just wasn't a thing for them. She's like, I can't finish from penetration, I can't finish from oral. I'm just one of those girls that like just can't finish. And then she accepted it. And then literally they broke up, and the next guy she slept with literally made her finish from oral and penetration. And it was like a whole new world for her. She thought, oh my God, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was one of those girls that just couldn't finish or whatever the case may be. But I tell you this story to let you know she was okay with marrying him. She wanted to marry him. She wanted to have his kids and spend the rest of her life with the guy that wasn't making her finish. The only reason they broke up is because he cheated. Ultimately, I guess he wanted to disappoint more women. I guess he wanted to disappoint more women. But, and she was okay with that. So yeah, it's super important to have those conversations with your partner to like, is good sex a deal breaker? Yes or no? If you're one of those people where, you know what, I just look at sex as like just a way to get close, to feel close to you. I don't care if it's good or not. I don't care if I come or not. Cool. If you're one of those people that are like, nah, I need the sex to be mind blowing or it's not gonna work. Cool. The importance of having that talk is to find people that you're compatible with, because one person that don't care about sex and the other person that does care about sex sexually aren't compatible. And if it's up there for you on the non-negotiables, you need to be with someone that's compatible with you, or it's just not going to work out. So, which brings us to the topic of the conversation of how do you have that talk with your partner. Now, me personally, this is like one of the first things I wish I was exaggerating with you guys. I'm 29 right now. Ever since I was like 22, 23 years old, ever since I moved to Atlanta, it's been one of the first conversations. One of the first conversations that I have. We match on Bumble. I get your number at the gym or whatever the case may be. I ask you what you're looking for. Are you looking for a relationship? Where's your mind at right now? Are you like, how's your love life? Is there that guy that can like just come back whenever he wants to? I don't really ask it like that. They'll, some women are honest and they'll be straight up with you. Others, I'm not going to say women lie. I'll just say they're delusional on that topic. You ever talk to a woman and she be like, I'm done with him. I blocked him on everything. He's never going to hear from me again. And then he like pull up and be like, yo, come outside. I need my dick sucked. And then she's like, I'm coming. It's not that they're lying. It's just they're like, in that moment, they think they're being honest when really they're being delusional. So I'm not going to say they're lying. I'm just going to say they're just being delusional about that one guy or whatever the case may be. But regardless, I ask, how's your love life been? I see where their mind's at. I see if they're like mentally, ready to have that conversation. And keep in mind, this is the first conversation, because I'm not about to waste my time. I'm not about to sit here and pursue you when you've been waiting for your situationship to ask you to be his girlfriend for like the past 3 years. Not doing that. So that's the first conversation. And then once they seem to be cool, clear, whatever about it, and honest about their intentions, I get straight to the sex talk. Sex talk is brought up literally as soon as I get the okay, I'm ready, or the first date. If I meet you at like the gym or something, or whatever the case may be, I'll like, or grocery store or whatever, and we go on our first date or whatever the case may be, I'm bringing up the sex talk. And a lot of y'all are in relationships and you're like, I don't know how to bring up the conversation. How I do it, me personally, I always ask them, like, I have like a preset of questions for me that I've just, accumulated over like experience or whatever the case may be. And I ask women this, so it might be a little bit different for y'all, but I'm going to like try my best to convert it, because it's mostly women that ask me how to have that conversation with their partners. But for me, I'm just like, okay, cool. How do you feel about impact play? And they're like, what's that or whatever the case may be. I'm like, like choking, hair pulling, light slapping, spanking, whatever the case may be. How do you feel about being praised or degraded? Because you got to understand, some sex is all up sex, and I'll like make another video about this, but people want to feel something during sex, not just like good in like the nether region, but like emotionally people want to feel something, whether it's giving control, having control, feeling worshipped, feeling degraded. Like there's a feeling that they chase. So for me, I'm like, do you like being praised? Do you like being degraded? If they're like praised or degraded, I'm like, cool. What names are you okay with? After they tell me what names they're okay with, I then okay, cool. Let me bring up some other names that she might not have never been called and see how she feels about that. And then after I ask them about their, what names they like being called or whatever the case may be, then I go into the all right, what are some things that you've tried that you want to try again? It's very important. And ladies, I know I give advice for men, but for the ladies that are watching, I have learned that when it comes to sex, men have really big egos. By the way, ladies, I applaud you. Ladies, I applaud you on this. Um, Men are very, and once again, this I've learned this from like I've seen like conversations that women have had with the men they're talking to, and it's very, very egocentric. So you have to be very careful with bringing things up in a way that like doesn't really let off that like how do I explain this? Men like being the best and the first, and if not first, the best. So you got to bring it up in a way that you don't make it seem too exciting, right? So you want to ask them, the guys you're talking to, what they've done that they enjoyed, right? I mean, I do the same thing. I'm like, what are some things that you've tried that you want to try again? What are some things that you haven't tried that you would like to try? Um, and then when you're like bringing up things that you have tried that you want to try again or whatever the case may be, always bring it up as a suggestion. You never want to be like, oh yeah, so this one guy, when I tell you he like tied me up like a rotisserie chicken and just like flogged me and like absolutely destroyed all three of my holes while I was tied up. I want to try that again. You don't want to. That's the wrong way to approach it. That's not. You want to be like, hey, look, I've. You might want to bring up a video and be like, oh my god, what do you think of this? Like, you can show that person like a video of a woman being tied up and be like, yo, this looks super duper interesting. Like, is this something like you would be interested in? Like, is this something that you want to try? I'm curious about it. I want to know your thoughts on it. Never ever go into the yeah. So like, I mean, I'm just being redundant, but yeah, you never want to just bring it up from a yeah. This guy did this to me, and I absolutely loved it, and I've been thinking about it ever since, and I want to do it again. That would kind of hurt a guy's ego. So that's not how you want to bring it up. And for those that are in relationships and y'all want to like, bring up something that you've tried or you want to try again or whatever the case may be, that would be the best way. I mean, excuse me. I don't know. I've always, in like all of my dynamics, have made it like a safe space for my partner. Like that's like one of the biggest things I do is I let them know in the very beginning it's a safe space. They can literally tell me anything. So I've never been in a dynamic where I'm scared to tell my partner something and they're scared to tell me something. Whether it's like a relationship, situationship, or whatever the case may be, they've always been super open, honest. That's like the first thing I establish when I talk to someone. So it's kind of hard for me to relate, like being with someone and being scared to bring something up. But honestly, the best piece of advice I can give you is just like, don't make it seem like it's your idea or make it seem like it's something that you stumbled upon and be like, oh my god, you see this video, like what are your thoughts on this? And then also something that's very common about the talks, a lot of y'all don't be sexually compatible and y'all be asking me, how do I get my partner into this? And it's like, that's not, you can ask them to try it, You can ask them to try it. They can try it, and you can see if they like it. And if they don't like it, you can't. There is no way to get them into something. Ladies, that be the equivalent of like you trying anal and being like, yeah, no, thank you. And then your partner comes and be like, let's just try it again. Your the old guy, the people that you've done anal with don't know what they're doing. Let me try it again. And then you try it with him and you still don't like it. And he's like, okay, well, let's just keep trying till you like it. That's not how that works. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And then you gotta have that honest conversation with yourself. Hey, look, I'm with a person that I'm not sexually compatible with. Is this a deal breaker for me? If so, maybe we need to talk about opening the relationship, or cheat, or break up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you gotta do to get through it. Um, Obviously I don't condone cheating, but you know, um, I don't condone it, but I have seen it. So it's you know what I'm saying, like it's not like a foreign thing for me. Like the amount of women that have like I've met that have like slid my DMs, and they've been with their husband for like 10 plus years, and they've never like finished, or they're like, all my husband does is just lay down, and I just ride him to kingdom come, and I just want him to like just take me from behind, press my face against the mattress, and just pound into me relentlessly till I finish multiple times until I'm like crying and I can't take it anymore. But that'll never happen. But like I have like 2, 3 kids, and I don't want to break up the family because honestly he's the perfect husband. It's just like the sex is horrible, and like it's so mind-boggling that while I'm on top I have to like literally like imagine any other thing to just even get myself off, because in the beginning it was easy, but now it's like such a mundane thing. It almost feels like a chore. It almost feels like a task. Wow, that was super specific. I obviously I've had this conversation a lot of time, well, with a lot of women. Obviously, you can tell that was really specific, but it's a thing. So like, yeah, I don't condone cheating, but also it's like I understand where you're coming from. So it's like it's, or I've had that, not understand where you're coming from, but like I've had those conversations, so I get it. Yeah, and then you have to make that decision. So in terms of like all those people that I've been asking me like how do I have that conversation with my partner, I hope this video helps. If I miss anything, if I didn't answer your question correctly, please let me know in the comment section. If there's anything else you want me to touch on, anything that I've missed in the previous videos, please put that in the comment section as well. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow.